Hello guys, and welcome back this Saturday to our question and answer feed. If you guys have any questions about decoy making or the processes, or even about any of the carvers in the area, feel free to ask, and I will try to answer them as quick as I can when they show up on the screen over there. Sorry if I seem a little bit out of breath. Just been trying to run around and clean stuff up to get it ready for the show. Hold on real quick as I try to fix something real quick. So with this, I'm going to be carving some more duck heads out while I'm answering questions that I see pop up on the screen. For those of you who are just starting to watch, we just start removing the Friday videos to Saturday. It just works out a little bit better. The decoys, the duck heads that I am carving today will be black duck heads. They're kind of the same as mallard heads, just I kind of tend to do a little bit different bill, just to make them a little bit different, because if the baskets get messed up, it's a little bit easier to tell. So for some of you that don't know, or we now have a YouTube page that you can go and subscribe and check for other videos that we don't post on here, as well as these videos. If you happen to miss them and you want to watch them on here, or you want to watch them on YouTube, that's fine. So just head over to YouTube. It's just YouTube. I believe the link is I'll put it in the description or the comment sections once we're done. But you can go over to YouTube and just type in Blanchette Decoys, and you'll see a couple videos that we've already posted that you can watch on YouTube from processes that we have done. One of the videos that's on there is the canvas back that we did for the State House in Annapolis. So I'm going to go ahead and start carving on some of these duck heads. And like I said, this is a question and answer video, so if you want to pop up any questions on the process of decoy making, or you have any questions towards the art of decoy making, or you want to know anything about the carvers around the area, just put them in the comment section and I'll try to answer them as quick as possible. So these duck heads, they're already formed for the most part. I'm just finishing up some of the bills on them, and then I have some of them here that still, the backs are rounded on them, and the bill is drawn out. That way it's a little bit easier on me. Hey Sandy. Also, we have a Patreon page if you'd like to support us and with making decoys and any other woodworking projects. Head over there and just read. I can't remember exactly what it says. Just head over there and see what you want to do to help us out. And some of the videos will be posted to there as well, and maybe any other pictures that we do. We are actually in the process of making some swans for a talk show that happens on 105.7 The Fan. So hopefully we can. One of the videos that we'll do will have that. We'll have the swans in there. Right now they're just they're already some of them. I just gotta carve the head out a little bit more and then we'll start taking pictures of the different versions with different processes, and then we will go forth and we'll make a small video about it as well. Be sure to share this video so we can get more people that want to learn the art of decoy making, or duck decoy making. Everybody has their way of saying it. It's a slowly dying art that I will continue to do my best and carve my own decoys and my specialty on how I make mine. Thanks, Sandy, for sharing it. We do have a lot of projects going on right now in the shop. We got our next video that we're going to do next Saturday. We will be we'll be putting some of these mallards. They'll be sanded in time, and then we will start to get some of the bodies ready. And that session will be we'll be putting duck heads on bodies and getting them ready for to sit on the drying rack to let the glue dry up. That way we can start working on more and more, as well as once those are all done, glued up and sitting on the shelf, we will have some canvas back heads that we're going to go ahead and carve out as well. Won't be too many of them, probably about 20, and we'll have them done in no time. I'll just have 20 just for the video, but in grand total we'll actually have 100 canvas backs that will be heading to the show as well. If you're just starting to watch, be sure to head over to our page. If you haven't watched it, if you haven't seen us before, hit the like button, as well as head over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button, and watch some of the videos that we have posted on there. These videos will be on there as well as some other little videos that we don't want to post on here that we'll do as a special for YouTube, and then vice versa. We'll do some videos on here that we won't post to YouTube. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask about the process of making decoys or about any of the carvers around this area. I would have some music playing, however, the last video that we did apparently got banned because well, when we posted it on YouTube, the video got banned because apparently some of the songs you could hear. So until we figure out what we can play in the background to kind of make sure it's not, dull, for right now it's just going to be me talking and you hearing the knife carving away at the wood. Also, we will be, for anybody new watching this video, we will be heading to Richmond, Virginia in August, from August 11th through the 13th at the Richmond Raceway Complex. So if anybody is down that way or heading that way, be sure to stop by and say hello. Also, like Captain Harry used to say when we were at shows all the time, if you want to stop in and say hello, you also have to buy a duck. Buy a duck. I said this in one of my earlier videos this year, well, in the beginning, not too long ago. If you can't figure out what you want to get your significant other, and but you know they like decoys, we do have the option of gift certificates that will be for either they'll be priced for either a pair or for a single, depending on its quarter size or full size, so on and so forth. But we do have gift certificates. If you'd like one, just email us or message us on through our Facebook page. That way we can get one to you. That might be a good idea. Might have to try that. Thanks, Sandy. So not too many duck heads left to carve out every year. Why is that? Yeah. Trying to figure out what some of these are for and what some of these aren't. Got too many sitting here. If you're just starting to watch this, be sure to help us out, share the video, and get more people watching this dying art. Also, if you haven't already, head over to our page, hit the like button. Also, head over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button. We have a YouTube channel, Blanchett Decoys. You can type it in the search engine, and you'll pop one of our videos will pop up. That will help us show your support both here, YouTube, We also have a Patreon account, a Patreon website that you can go to and help if you want to help us by supporting us even more. You can head over there and see the different levels that you can choose. So not too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 more. And I can finish working on some of these black. We'll start working on these black ducats. So we lowered the number on some of the ducks that we're taking with us this year to the show, just because I started thinking. At first, I was like, "Oh, I'll need this many, and I'll need this many," and then I'm sitting there thinking it's only 3 days, and there's hundreds of there's quite a few other people there at the show that are carvers besides myself, so I figured I'll lessen the number just a little bit, just so it doesn't get it too much out of hand and cost us more time. There we go. Those 3 are done. So we have 25 mallard heads that are now finished. These are just 5 of them. They'll be sanded up like nice and pretty like this one here, and then we'll where did I put it? The bodies, once they're done and they're nice and sanded up, that will sit just like that, and then we'll get them ready. We'll putty the necks and stuff like that and get them ready to be painted, and they'll sit over on our shelves back there, and get that way we can get them done, put into a box, and wait for the next set of ducks, which will be the canvas backs that we get done. So we're gonna go ahead and start on some of these black duck heads that we have. First, I'll get these in a bag, that way it gets them out of the way, these mallard heads. And I dropped one. It was too far for me to get. I'll get it later. Alright, so the coming a little bit closer. The mallard heads and the black duck heads, the pattern's the same. However, when I carve them out, I carve them a little bit different, the bills, and the way the head's shaped, just a little bit. That way I can tell the difference if something were to happen with the baskets or the bags and they got mixed together. There's 25 of these as well, so hopefully I can get these. I won't get all of them done tonight, but I can get them closely started to where they need to be. First, for the most part, I kind of tidy up my space to where I can get them all in one area and I know what I'm dealing with. Hopefully soon we'll have a camera that we can move around and show what we're talking about, because right now it's not gonna happen that way. Sorry. Oop, that is not a mallard. I don't think that's a mallard either. Nope. So I think there's 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what I'm going to do differently with these is I'm going to start with the neck, clean this neck out real quick and get it rounded, just like what we did with forgot where I put them. These guys here, you can see how they're a little bit concaved on either side. The neck's cleared out, or the third's cleared out, and the back of the neck's cleaned out. Unlike this guy, you can see how he's basically just rough all the way around, except for where I pulled off the face of the bill. So with that, start out, put a line on the other side of the bill. Just go back and forth. You can kind of see this little tiny mark that we put there on the other side. That's almost like a stop point where we don't want to go past that. And you just round it out. Just start out. And then you go the opposite way and go towards the bill. So I'm going to use a different knife real quick. Besides that little one, I have multiple knives that I use for carving, and they sit in a nice little box that I have. A little tiny knife, a little bit smaller than this guy, a little bit sharper too. Actually, do I have my smaller one in there? I do. I'm actually going to use my smaller one. clean these nicks out. So once we get these necks cleaned out and the throat cleaned out, we can start working on the bill portion of the black duck head. So it takes a little bit to kind of clean these throats out because you don't want the saw marks as many. Than you do, just because there's so many. Sometimes the bandsaw creates too many saw marks, so you want to kind of clean that out. And in the long run, it helps you when you go to start sanding as well. So there it is. There's the throat all cleared out. Try to clean it up just a little bit more. It's rounded on both sides. Some people on the full size heads, they use a router up and around, down the sides, around the back. Just makes it that even makes it a little bit easier. I don't have a router, so I'm not gonna do it that way. So from there, we're gonna take the sides and concave them a little bit more, because right now they're just flat. So we're just gonna concave them and shape them up a little bit more so that the head's not just straight. If we were doing an older style, just slap a piece of wood on, all we would do is just shape up the bill a little bit and just put that right on the shelf of the decoy. So once this side is done, I'll push it up against I'll show you, put it into the view of the camera, that way you can see the difference. Might not, through the camera, might not see too much of a difference, but in person you can definitely tell the difference. So there you can see how this side is flat and how we concaved it on this other side. Now it gives it a little bit more characteristic. And from there, you kind of just, on the back, you kind of clean it up. Bring it in. That way it just blends right into the back of the neck. And same thing with the other side. Just take little bits off at a time. Thanks, Dawn. So this one you gotta go the other way. Shape it up a little bit more. And there you go. Now both sides are concaved on either side, and the back is cleaned up, and got a little bit of a concave in the back as well. So we'll just do that for the rest of them, and we'll go from there. The bills we'll do later on. Yep, just about. We do these videos every Saturday. They're either on carving heads. Last time, this one's also a question and answer video. So if you wanted to learn, have any questions about the processes or the process of making decoys, or have questions about any of the carvers, this is the time to ask. And then we just answer. I go ahead and answer whatever anybody has to ask. and then this is on the last Saturday of the month. Granted, this is July 1st, I believe. Yeah. For some odd reason, I keep thinking it's July already. We will do a the last Saturday of every month is a question and answer video. The rest of them, the other 3 Saturdays, are how to basically carve out decoys. We'll either, for the most part, they're done up here in the paint shop, or the processes of painting them and stuff like that. Thank you. Hey, Mr. Rob. We also will soon to be at the Decoy Museum, starting a decoy carving, both painting and carving class. We have to, me and 2 other guys are in the process of trying to figure out what we need to do. As far as the supplies, where we're going to do it in the Decoy Museum, but for the most part, us 3 will be the main instructors for the course. So myself, I believe, Richard Mortz with Mortz Decoys, and Matt Nisley, who's also the directors of the museum, her husband, will all, us 3 will be the main instructors for the course, as well as we're trying to get the Mitchell shop, which is located behind the Decoy Museum. We'll start opening that more and getting carvers in there to talk more about the Mitchell shop and what was used and how he used stuff and everything like that. Because I believe the Mitchell shop behind the Decoy Museum has been closed for quite a while. I know it's been a few years since I've been in it. Thanks, Mike. The zoo was good. For those of you who don't know, we took a little trip this morning down to the DC Zoo. It was pretty nice. It was a little hot, but kind of could understand why half the animals didn't want to come out. I think it was at one point, I think it was like 90, 94, 95 degrees. So it wasn't too bad though. Yeah, the National Zoo in DC. Yeah. It's the camera. So for those of you just joining, we just did one not too long ago. We're cleaning up the throats on these, and getting the necks concaves and the back cleared up a little bit, and then we're going to worry about the bills later. These are, we have 25 black duck heads that we're doing today, at least until 8:30, and when the video ends today. So if you guys have any questions on the processes of making these, just go ahead and ask, and we'll answer the best we can. Yeah, I'm still doing miniatures, just not as much as I used to. I'm making these little quarter-size guys now. Actually, I have a finished one here to show you. That way it's a little bit easier. So I use a little quarter-size mallard that I did. These ones have been selling pretty good, so we've been keeping with these. And then we have quarter-size loons that we've been doing. I got about 30 of these. Not done, but I have 2 done. One of them's already on. One's in order, and then I have the rest of them up on the shelf. Finish up that head. It depends. The price depends on the type. So like the mallard, a pair of mallards are going for 20 bucks. These little guys. The loon that I had in my hand, they're 30. They're a little expensive just because all those feathers, as we would call them, are all hand painted in. You can see in the back of the neck, those are all painted in, and there's dots that represent feathers up underneath the neck. So they're all hand painted, all hand carved for the most part. The only thing that we have to worry about is cutting them out on a bandsaw, the main shapes, just so it's less work on my hands with a draw knife or even a carving knife. So it just depends. Mike, that would be a pretty piece. I'll have to think about doing something like that for you. And thanks. I got, hopefully these mallards that are in this bag, once their heads are sanded, they'll look just as good as those. For those of you just joining, welcome. We're having a question and answer video that we do the last Saturday of each month. The other Saturdays we do a video on either carving heads in the shop, painting. We did one painting these guys, painting a couple loons, and then maybe even carving out duck bodies, and then we just try to do a little bit here and there around the shop, sanding, whatever we can to bring out a video in the different processes of making decoys. It is a slow, not super slow, but a slow dying art that I love doing it. Been doing it for quite a while, and I'll continue to make ducks until I can't pick up a knife anymore. It's just it's relaxing. It's a nice little hobby. Right now it's a hobby, even though I call it my business. It's just a nice environment to get into. If you want to take stress out, you can take it out on a piece of wood, carve away, and you take little pieces off, and you can represent them as whatever you want when you're carving. But for the most part, they're up here in the paint shop, to where we can carve heads and be in a nice, cool environment while we use the cameras. If you haven't already, go ahead. Be sure to like our page, Blanchett Decoys. Also head over to YouTube. We also have a YouTube account that's also Blanchett Decoys. And we will post these videos on there if you missed them, or for the rest of the world to see. Also, we may post videos on YouTube that you may not see on Facebook, and vice versa. So head over there, hit subscribe. We will also soon we have a website starting that will give like a list of shows that we go to every year. One of them being the Howard Grace Decoy Festival. We have one coming up. Hence why we're getting some of these done. We are heading to Richmond, Virginia, for a show in August. So it will be our semi-biggest show. And we do the Howard Grace show, which is 3 days. It's the first weekend of May. The show that we're doing in August is also 3 days, but it's 11th through 13th. And the lady that reached out to us said there's upwards to 15,000 people that you can see there, and as far as customer wise. So I don't know, we'll see how it does. We got a discounted rate this year going to the show, so hopefully we like it. If we want to continue further with the show, we might think about doing it. It is a little expensive for the table, but that's the price you pay for a nice complex and where it's at. It's at the Raceway, so I can't really complain too much. So I know one of the videos that I posted, I believe it wasn't too long ago. I did one carving heads, and I did one carving bodies. We do a lot of handwork with these, as you can tell through some of the videos, especially when it comes down to carving them to the point where we get ready to sand them. For instance, like this canvas back head, I put this on here just to show the rough shape of the body and the rough shape of the head, to give an idea of all the carving that goes on throughout the whole entire stages. And then I glued a head on there. So this is a canvas back. The head's not sanded, the body's not sanded, so you can see all the marks that are caused from the knife that we use to get it to the shape that we want to. My old mentor, Captain Harry, used to say, take everything away that doesn't look like a duck. Well, for some people that's easier said than done, and other people are like, I have no clue what you're talking about. After a while though, you get the hang of it. I've been doing it for probably going on 12 years. 11, 12 years. It's well worth it. I love it. I won't give it up. I'll tell you that. And we're always, if anybody wants to stop on in and try their hand at carving one, by all means, just message us, see if we're in the shop, and we'll tell you to stop on by and try your hand out on carving a decoy, or even painting one. If you want to try to paint one, we can always make one up for you real quick and put it together and let you paint one. Um, when we go to do one of the videos that we're going to do is on canvas backs, like this guy here. We're going to do, we'll have 10 each that we're going to paint. However, 10 of them will be old school and 10 of them will be new school. The only reason why I say the difference is the old schools, they don't have, it's just a black tail, black breast, a white body, and the red, the canvas back red head and the black bill. But then they get antiqued. We use this stuff here called wax to antique the decoys. We use it. We can use it not just on canvas backs, but on any others. It's almost like a gel. It's got a weird smell to it, I'll tell you that. But it's furniture polish and stain and cleaner. But we use this and it turns the decoy, once it's painted, a different color. I don't have anything really back there. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I can do it on this loom, just to show you guys, so it can have an antique loom. So for when we start out with stuff like this, you want to make sure it's been painted for quite a while, and then we use just extra rags that we have laying around, and then a little bit will get you a long way. So literally, that's I just tapped it in there, and you just go about. So I'll do one side just so you can see the difference. So light might be too bad, or let me try this one. So you can kind of see it now, how this side is a little bit darker than this side, and that's what you get after you're done going through this wax and antiquing it, so to speak. It basically takes the white, makes it look like it's been on there for quite a few years. Gives it a little age to it. Even though you won't really see it on the black, you still go around the whole thing. Normally too, there's different ways you can apply this. Some people will put it on in hunks and then let it dry a little bit and then polish it so it gets like a sheen. I don't really like that. I mean, it's nice, it's cool, but if it's a decorative thing and if it's shiny, someone's liable to do something to it. So once this is done, you can see the difference. I have another one. I have an all white one, well, a one that's finished over here that you can see, so at least you can see the difference between one that's antiqued and one that's not. So you can kind of see it, the antiqued, it's got that darker color to it, and the other one, just be a little careful. Got some of it on my hands. I don't know if I can do this, I'll show you guys. So you can definitely tell the difference. See the white, and then this. So this one's the white one, this one's the antiqued one. So I mean, to this camera, I mean, now you can definitely tell the difference, the difference in the breast. But that's all we do that's all I do to antique my ducks, and it works. Like I said, it's called wax, and it cleans, it stains, and it polishes. So it's pretty cool on how that stuff works. Go ahead, close that up. So we got 10 minutes left in this show. If you guys want to ask anything, ask away. And if you guys have any questions during the week when we're not doing a video, just message us and we can answer your question the best of our ability. ducks to get done. Let's just say that. Got a couple of orders to fill as well. Are you talking about just one, or like, for instance, 25 of them, or both? Just one, start to finish. So from a mallard, you're going from this and this, which probably take, I don't know, probably once the head is cut out in the bandsaw, and then shaped, the back is rounded, probably, I mean, 3 to 5 minutes ahead, and then the body, you're probably looking at another 5 minutes, but then to sand it, and then to sand the head, so probably a couple hours, just to get the body ready, well, the actual physical parts of the duck ready to get painted. Once they get painted, once they start getting their first coat, you're probably looking at another, depending on the temperature up here, you're probably looking at, I could have one mallard done in maybe 2-3 hours. So altogether, you're probably looking at about, because we do these out in large quantities, so probably about 8 hours for one. So if you're doing large quantities, you can get a lot more out, a huge amount turned out, and when you do more than just one, then you can, because this is how I used to do it. Used to go just make one here and there, here and there, here and there, and it got to me to the point where, you know what, I need to start making, if I want to make more, turn them all out at the same time. Hence why we have like 25 mallard heads over here that we had finished the other day. We got another 25 black duck heads that are sitting here that will be done hopefully tonight or tomorrow. We'll try to get as many as we can done tonight and get them ready to be sanded for tomorrow. The bodies, they're already done for the most part, except for the couple that I have here in a box that need to be sanded. So we probably will start to get these headed either probably Tuesday. And then we have canvasback heads that are out there in the shop. We have little coots that are out there. We use the same body as a loon that you see here. The tail goes downwards. Just the loon, I mean the coot, we cut it off a little bit more. And we round it up. We round it down and round it up. And these little guys, they don't have they're like chickens compared to ducks, but they don't have a bill like a canvasback or a mallard where they got that V. They have almost like their bill comes up and around. It's really weird, and they got they're like a nut, but they're a nice color. They're like if you see them in the light, they're like a darkish navy blue color with when we paint them, I paint them the dark navy color, and their bill is like an off white, almost like a light cream color, and then they have like a red dot right in the top of the bill, and they have like a little black dot at the bottom of the bill. Thanks, Dawn. Thanks, Jim. So we'll have a couple of these. I think we're not going to have very many of these little guys because we don't think. Some of these duck heads that we're doing are actually the first ones that we've done. We got a pair of hooded mergansers, and pair of hooded mergansers that we that we have. These are the first pair that we've ever made. And needless to say, they're actually looking nice enough that they may make it to my display in my living room. They won't be sold, just because I like how the way they turned out. And tell you the truth, the same way with these little these red-breasted mergansers. They're the same way. I don't think they're gonna sit on a shelf. They're gonna sit on, well, they're gonna sit on a shelf, but they're gonna sit on my shelf in the living room. Along with I already have a loon that I did down there and stuff like that. I did a full-size swan. That's the biggest ones that we ever make. This is just to show you. This is a miniature swan. So this just shows you the comparison. The full-size swan, I can't show you. Unfortunately, it's all the way downstairs. But they are probably about 3 foot long. I've measured mine. Mine's 3 foot long by about 2 foot high. And it weighs pretty good. I think it's about 60 pounds. Took me a total of 6 months to make. That is from start to finish. Because on swans you make them flawless. This little guy, unfortunately, is being repaired. He got dropped off a shelf and his neck broke, but luckily he broke right at the bottom of where the shelf and the, when I say shelf, I'm talking about the flat part of the duck body. So it's a little bit easier to repair. But this guy has no nicks, no dings. He's smooth as can be. And that's how we try to get our swans, just like that, because swans, of course, they're beautiful, they're big, they're white. So we try to make our decoys the same way. Yes, the one that I made as the rocker, it's a goose it's a goose size, so it's a goose body, and then the head is specially made specifically for a rocker. Because it's got the handle that goes through it, and it's a little bit more, it's got a little bit more reinforcement in it to supplies from, you know, someone rocking back and forth or someone accidentally tipping it over. It's got more support in it. So, also, if you guys would like to order anything, just message us or email us at blanchettdecoys@gmail.com. You just submit your orders through there, or you want to find out what you want to order. Also, be sure to help us and share our page, like our page, head over to YouTube, like our subscribe on our YouTube page. That way you can see updates on any videos that we do throughout the week or throughout the month or whatever. I have done a couple with wings. They're really time consuming. When I mean time consuming, I mean they are time consuming because the wings that we make. I mean, literally, this can kind of show you. This is a pattern, but that's how thin their wings are. If we were to make them for like something like this. Not just that, I have to take, if I was going to do it on miniatures, full size is a little bit easier, but on these guys I have to make a completely different pattern. This is their pattern right now, so you can kind of see, if I set this just like this, you can see how much has been taken away from the actual original pattern. And for a flying one, their neck would have to come in, and this would all be this and their head would be one piece. So it'd be one piece all the way through, and then we'd have to take their tail and move it a different way. But with all that, you got to keep in mind. Of course, the wings would be separate from the body and head piece, but you got to keep in mind that you have to keep with the grain at all times. So you can't just make, you know, a duck body like this and if you're right now you can see the grain's moving this way and this way. So with that, you can't just take, if the grain was originally hitting this way and you take a duck body and put it this way on the board, it's going to snap. It's going to snap right in half, and it's not going to work. It's not going to be worth anything. Same things with our patterns. Our patterns follow with the grain. That way they're stronger this way than they are this way. Do we ever use them, you know, to bend or anything like that? No, but I mean, you want your patterns to last. I've had this one for I think three or 4 years now, and it's still, I mean, it's still holding up to what it needs to be. So we're gonna wrap up for tonight. Keep an eye out for other videos that we post on during the week. Like I said, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to message us, or if you guys have our number, just text us. Head over, like this page, help us share this video, see how many people we can get to watch this art and stuff like that. Also head over to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also head over to Patreon if you want to support us even more and help us through with the processes and buying supplies that we need. So, alright guys, have a good night.